Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to this, your May 15th through May 31st reading and predictions. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Before I get started, I just have a little request. If you wouldn't mind watching this all the way until the end, and at the end of this video, I do have a surprise for you in that I will be pulling yes, no cards for your burning questions. So if you do have a question that you are willing to put your trust into this itty bitty little deck of cards for, stick around all the way until the end. All right, Sagittarius, in the last reading that I did for you, there were a lot of changes, shifts, and yeah, just a lot of upheaval happening for you. And there was some question about whether you should be making decisions from the heart or from the place of intellect. The cards indicated that the timing was really good for you guys to step up and step into a new venture. Timely advice was likely coming your way. But you had the rebel to close out. So, how's all of that sitting with you? Is it resonating for you? How are things going? Are you planning a new venture? Have you started out on that adventure? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get started with your reading. The first cards that we're going to pull for you, Sagittarius, are going to be cards of where you're at now here in the middle of May as I record this video for you. Take a look at what's going on for Sagittarius, middle of May. All right, so we've got one card here that it flipped over. I'm going to yank that one out. 10 of Swords. The ending of a burden, and 6 of Wands, feeling like you are victorious. So, the first card that we have for you in where you are at now, as I mentioned, is the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is a card of feeling like you have been dragged through the mud, like you've just gone through a wicked, nasty battle, and yet you're feeling like, okay, it's over. I can breathe again and I can look to the next phase. And the very next card that you have is a very positive card, being the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is a card of victory. It's a card of feeling like the next steps that you take are going to achieve the success and the victory that you're looking for. Now, in relation to the last reading that I did for you, indicating that you were looking towards starting a new venture, potentially a new business, going out on your own. These two cards are indicating that because one of the cards is, they're both rather positive, but one of them feels more like it's like you've been dragged through the mud. And the reality is, Sagittarius, that when we are starting out on a new adventure or starting a new venture with regards to work or business, sometimes we have a lot of this going on, specifically related to our emotions. One day we're up, the next we're down. One day we feel like, oh, I don't even know how I'm going to get this off the ground. And then the next day something really amazing happens and you're like, oh, yeah, everything's going my way. And then you go to bed that night, you get up the next day and you're like, So it is not uncommon to have this wave of emotions and feeling, victorious one moment and feeling um, deflated the next is not uncommon. So just keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that the 10 of Swords and 6 of Wands, this sort of up and down, came out for you for where you are at now here in the middle of May. And now the next cards that I'm going to be pulling for you are going to be the cards of looking forward at what you are focusing on, what you're focusing on achieving, what you want to do going ahead. Right, so we have a card that's fallen out and another one has just fallen out. They're not really jumping today, they're just kind of tumbling out. All right, so the first card that came out for you is the Tower. And then you have the Three of Swords. Yeah. So it looks like there needs to be an ending. You're going to need to let go of something that you have been emotionally attached to before you can move fully into this venture, Sagittarius. And one of the things I picked up with the Ten of Swords and the Six of Wands, and now you have the Tower and the Three of Swords, I'm sensing that there are people in your life, Sagittarius, who are not in support of you changing. They don't like the idea of you changing. Um, for some of you, one of the things that just flashed before my eyes, it's going to be your significant other. They're going to be uncomfortable with you changing, with you coming into your power, with you saying, I am no longer going to be a part of the matrix, for example. I'm no longer going to do the Monday to Friday 9 to 5. I've got what it takes. I'm going into self-employment. And there is someone whom you are emotionally attached to that's saying, I don't think that's a good idea. And are you sure you want to do that? And what are you going to do for money? And I'm worried about you and blah, 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 blah. The reality is, Sagittarius, the reason that that's bubbling up for them is that's their fears, not yours. Don't own those fears. That's someone else's stuff. But you do need to move past this in order to be able to move forward. You have to move past your attachment, your emotional attachment to. So the Three of Swords is about having to let go of emotional attachments. And so you're going to have to let go of your emotional attachment to their opinion. And for some of you, it's not a significant other. For others, I feel like this has to do with parent, most specifically for a lot of you, the mother wound, where we want our moms to love us unconditionally, no matter what. And yet, for the vast majority of us, there is some aspect of conditions or conditional love when it comes to our mothers or fathers for that matter. But I'm more sensing a mother wound here for some of you. And the tower and the Three of Swords are indicating some emotional upheaval and the necessity for a change in a relationship dynamic in order to be able to move forward into this new endeavor, Sagittarius. If you're still attached to the past and you are buying in to the negativity that someone else is spilling out because of their fears, you may feel like this Ten of Swords, right? You feel like you've been through a battle. So normally the next cards that I'd pull for you, Sagittarius, would be the cards of challenges and difficult influences. But really, I think that with the Tower and the Three of Swords coming out for what you're focused on, let's pull cards of positivity here, cards of what's going to help you the most to get through this emotional upheaval, to get through this shift in dynamics in a relationship. Like, I really feel like it's not the absolute ending of a relationship for a very small minority, 1 or 2% of you. It is about the ending of a relationship. The relationship cannot be, yeah. uh, But it's actually a good thing because there was just some negativity there. But for 98% of you, this isn't about the end of a relationship, either with a parental figure or with a significant other. This is about a shift in the dynamics within that relationship. It's about you reclaiming your power, and it's about you having boundaries with regards to you saying, this is what I want, and nothing is going to get in my way. Let's take a dive into what What is going to help you and support you getting through the Tower and the Three of Swords? What's going to help you and support you? Yeah, I knew that card wanted to come out, and that one too. Okay. So what is going to help you and support you through this? Oh, yes, so many positive cards. Absolutely. Okay, so the very first card that came out for what will help you and support you through the Three of Swords and the Tower, through reclaiming your power and having healthy boundaries in your relationships, is going to be the Consciousness card. This card is the Ace of Swords. This is a card of new beginnings by bringing in the intellect and having the ability and the capacity to be able to communicate clearly as there is a shift happening into a new beginning. That's the meaning of this card, and that is the first card that you have here. The next card that you have is the New Vision card. This card corresponds to the Hanged Man. This is about being able to see things from a different perspective, being able to see clearly that when somebody else is being critical of your new, fun, exciting ideas, that's their stuff. It's not yours. So you don't have to own it. What you have to do is have the ability to have the boundaries, set the boundaries, communicate clearly to the other party. This is what I want. And if change is scaring you, if change is uncomfortable for you, while I am in the early stages of starting out this new venture, could you please keep your negativity to yourself? That's a healthy boundary. Okay. So this New Vision card is about you, Sagittarius, being able to see things from their perspective as well and seeing the bigger picture, that they're not critical of you. They're not critical of your idea. What they are being critical of is change, and it's their fear that's coming up. Completion. This is the last piece of the puzzle for you to fall into place, for you to level up. This card is about leveling up a soul lesson. It's about learning our lessons. It's about recognizing and seeing the bigger picture and having the maturity. This is the Ace of Pentacles. To having the maturity to be able to go forth and go forward with your new endeavor. Now, I do want to point out as well that this maturity card corresponds to the Ace of Pentacles, and you have the Ace of Swords here. Both cards indicate new beginnings for you. Okay. New beginnings. And the completion card corresponds to the World card in the major arcana of the tarot. This is about completing a soul cycle or a soul lesson. It's about leveling up. It is about boundaries as well. And this is about being able to see the bigger picture. All of these cards are extremely positive, and following the advice of these four cards is going to help you get through this Tower and Three of Swords card. Let's move into messages from the universe for you, Sagittarius. Messages the universe wants you to hear. I sense I'm going to have to go through this deck one more time. Your card's not coming out. It was at the other end of the deck. Yeah, it's definitely at the other end of the deck. There we go. There's one. Anything else? Any other messages? Yep, there we go. Okay. So, Sagittarius, messages from the universe. Abundance is your right. Ah, that is a fantastic mantra for the rest of the month of May for you. Abundance is my right. Change the your to my and switch this into an affirmation for yourself. Okay. Part of the reason that people get critical of us when we change and we shift is because they fear that if you become super uber successful and super abundant financially, that you're going to leave them behind somehow. Again, I'm going to pull up the new vision card and remind you that you now have the capacity to be able to see their criticisms from the bigger perspective. They are fearful of losing who you used to be as you change and shift and grow. That's why they're critical. So remember, abundance is your right. And the other card is take responsibility for your actions. Now, this card is about accountability. Okay. Make sure that you are being accountable. Who do you need to be accountable to, however, Sagittarius? There's only one person that you need to be accountable to. That's you. Take responsibility for your actions. All right, let's move into what is unexpected. I'm getting called back over here to the Osho Zen. So, what is unexpected for Sagittarius? Unexpected. Whew. Okay, I have to get all the way out of my seat. This card clearly had a message for you because it flew halfway across the room. Okay. In your unexpected, you have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is the card of guilt. The Eight of Swords is the card of accountability, believe it or not. And you have this message from the universe. The interpretation of the Eight of Swords, if you're not familiar with the Eight of Swords from the traditional tarot, I'm just going to see if I can find it very, very quickly here for you. But the Eight of Swords depicts a character who has their wrists bound and they are all tied up. And the message behind the card is about taking responsibility for where you're at in your life. And if you feel like you are all tied up and you are unable to get out of your situation, there's an obligation on your part to look at why you are feeling like that. Now, you may be feeling, here's the card. So this is the Eight of Swords. And you'll notice that the character is blindfolded. They have their hands tied behind their back, albeit that this is very loosely tied. It would be very easy for this character to be able to escape. Further, the swords are stabbed into the ground here, but they don't go all the way around the character. So they're not actually trapping the character. You'll also notice that the blindfold is not covering both eyes fully. This is an indication that when we go through, and this is the equivalent to this card, okay? When we go through life and we feel like we're trapped and we're bound and I have no choice, and these are the words that we're using. Oh, I have no choice and nobody is supporting me and I want to go and do this new venture, but I'm not getting any support and my mom is being critical or my partner is being critical of me. We may feel guilt because, and we may feel like we are trapped because we don't want to disappoint them. They're our loved ones. We want their love and we want their approval. So we feel like we're being trapped when they are critical of us. We feel guilty if we don't follow their instructions and stay the same. But again, I'm going to call up this card. Why would we stay the same for someone else? This is your right. This completion card, the world, is your right. Abundance is your right, Sagittarius. So should you feel guilt for changing? Because that's really what this is about, is you are changing. You are leveling up. You are starting a new adventure or venture. So accountability, take responsibility for where you are. It's okay to have those feelings if someone is being critical of you, especially if a loved one is criticizing you. But remember, you are in control. The very next card that you have is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is the creator. He is the king who has the ability and capacity to visualize, manifest what he wants, and put it into action and bring it into the world. You have this, Sagittarius. This is your right. I want to point out this is the King of Wands. The very next card, King of Pentacles. Do you see what this says across here, Sagittarius? Abundance. Abundance is your right. I do want to say, with two kings coming in here, Sagittarius, there is a really high likelihood that there's someone who exudes masculinity who's probably going to come forward between May 15th and May 31st with some really valuable advice for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a biological male. It may be even a female friend who delivers a message or delivers some advice to you in a way that is not particularly emotional, but it's valuable advice. Because typically, when the kings appear, especially two of them appearing, there's advice forthcoming for you. So watch for that. Even for that matter, it could just be the advice of this video waking you up to the the acceptance, waking you up to the new vision that someone else's criticism of you and your ideas is their stuff, not yours. The last card that you have in your unexpected is the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is We Are the World card. You already have a card that represents the world from the Major Arcana. The We Are the World card is a card of success. It's a card of feeling secure in your life, like feeling like you've found your place in the world. Final general overall outcome. Where are we going for final general overall outcome? We're going to go over here to the general tarot. I'm going to just cut the deck a couple of times here because I did sort through the deck in order to find that Eight of Swords to show you that picture. All right. Final general overall outcome for Sagittarius. And then I'm going to pull your yes, no cards for you. Final general overall outcome. I have to go through the deck a second time here. Final general overall outcome for Sagittarius, please. All right, so the first card that came out for you in your final general overall outcome is the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about walking away from something. Yeah, yeah. All right, so the Six of Swords is about walking away. It's interesting. As we begin, so shall we end. You began your reading with the Ten of Swords, and you also have the Ten of Swords in your outcome. So again, the Ten of Swords is about feeling like you've come through a battle, but you're at that turning point of becoming victorious. It's interesting that you have the Six of Swords, then you have the Ten of Swords. You had the Ace of Swords, you had the Eight of Swords here. You have a lot of swords coming up. You have the Three of Swords, indicating that there is a lot of intellectual work that you need to do, and a lot of the decisions that you're going to be making are going to be from this intellectual place as opposed to from the heart. Um, so yeah. So Six of Swords, you're putting past troubles behind you and you need to walk away from something. You'll notice the characters are just on a raft and they're pushing away from shore. Ten of Swords, again, just to reiterate, is about feeling like you've come through a little bit of a battle, but yeah, you're coming out on the other side. You have the Nine of Swords here. The Nine of Swords indicates that you may still be worrying. The Nine of Swords has, again, that sense of guilt about it and that sense of worry. It's the catastrophism card about thinking about the worst case scenario. But everything else in your reading is indicating, Sagittarius, that there are really, really good things coming up for you and that there's a huge shift happening for you as you step up and step into your power and put up additional boundaries, and as you recognize that those who would criticize you are doing so from out of based on their fears, not your stuff. And you have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is about you gaining success and steady growth in your business. It is about, so the one side of the Seven of Pentacles is you need to put the work in, but as you put the work in, so shall you reap the rewards. Okay, this is one of those cards of you reap what you sow, you get out what you put in. So if you're putting work and energy into your new endeavor, into your new venture, into your new adventure, you will get rewards back out. And that is the final card of your reading. So this is a card of keep going, continue to put the work and the effort in, Sagittarius, because success is right around the corner for you. All right. If this video and this reading resonated for you, hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel grow drastically so that this message can get out to a lot more people. So I would greatly appreciate it. And bring to mind your question, the question that you have that you would like to have a yes or a no answer to. Some people like to close their eyes and ask the question several times in their mind, and other people just ask the question out loud. We need one card, please, for Sagittarius for the latter half of May. One card, please. Please help Sagittarius. There we go. All right, Sagittarius. In response to your yes/no question, the cards have said choose a new direction. Choose a new direction. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you will allow me the honor of doing your next reading for you at the beginning of June.